Welcome back to the Misfits podcast, rated 5 stars on iTunes by Ligma is killing me. He says, I showed my friends this podcast and now they don't talk to me. That's kind of sad, guys.
Why?
Why not?
It's a good podcast.
Yeah, what?
We're pretty fucking weird, though.
Are we?
Maybe.
What's weird about this?
Don't do that.
Oh, why are you doing
All
that?
right.
Oh,
Like,
no,
There's no
bro.
reason
Alright,
to do
so
that.
this is why his friends don't listen. The person that just rolled his eyelid over his own eyelid, exposing the inside of his eyelid, is,
I
of course,
inverted my eyelid, and my name is Swagger Souls.
his name is Swagger Souls.
Hi,
We
Swagger
also
Souls.
have
Oh, hey.
Mason, a.k.a. the Zuckmeister himself.
Hey, Zuckles.
Let's go on, boys, on the piss.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah.
And McCreamy, a.k.a. Jay.
How's it going, guys?
And of course, today we're
The
joined by a
sixth-
very special guest.
The new sixth misfit,
yeah.
Bobby Misner himself, the billionaire's son.
The new sixth misfit, even though there's 5 people at the table.
What's
we replaced Fitz with him.
Yeah. So basically, today we genuinely do misfits because he's fucking gone.
It's a shame.
He's
It's
dead.
unfortunate, right? Like what happened to him?
Essentially,
I
he
killed
was,
him for dissing my meatballs. I've given him coronavirus. And that's all I have to say about it.
It's so sad.
I'm back with a vengeance. I'm back with a reckoning.
Okay. So today we're recording this on the one and only Valentine's Day. So before we get into the stuff about Bobby, let's quickly touch how was everyone's Valentine's Day.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it
I
was,
enjoyed thoroughly.
Fantastic.
All right,
Thoroughly,
Swagger
yeah.
sounds like he's got something to say here.
No.
Okay.
Other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
All
I
right.
really enjoyed it.
Thoroughly
Just
enjoyed
adjective.
Valentine's Day.
Okay, mate. Good for you. What? I know what Mason got up to.
Yeah, I bought roses.
What did you get up to, Jay?
Honestly, I went gambling.
On Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
What?
How
I went
romantic.
gambling with my girlfriend.
Okay.
We won
How much did you win?
like 500. It
Okay,
wasn't-
kind of
it was-
party.
it was alright,
Awesome.
it was
Oh, that's
alright.
cool.
Yeah. Wasn't
Is that
too
all
bad.
you did? You just went gambling?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for saying all you did, as if that is not enough.
No, we did some other stuff.
Nice, wholesome date.
Yeah. Not too
Um,
bad.
Bobby and Mason were chilling at the Ryan P house, which is where we are now. Of course, I do want to mention if the audio quality is bad, it is because we actually don't have an office anymore.
Yeah.
We are between offices, so we're recording this at Ryan P's house, and it's not the best studio environment, but hopefully it's good enough. But last night, Mason, I think it was, got a message from Matt, and he said, hey, let's go out tonight. And then Mason then encouraged that everyone else should go out tonight.
Ooh.
So we all went to GG Easy, right, Mace?
Yeah, I got a bit of piss, had a couple drinks.
And then you, Bobby, and Matt went somewhere else. Where did you guys go?
We tried to go to some bougie club, but
Yeah.
they said you had to be dressed up. I didn't know you had to be dressed
Boring.
up. You know?
We ended up going,
and
yeah.
then we went to some other club, which was like a bit crowded.
yeah,
But whatever.
it was alright. It wasn't that good. Like, some clubs in Melbourne just suck. And that was one of them.
At least Revs is good.
I don't
Revs is
understand.
alright.
Yep.
Dress codes are so dumb, especially
really
for
are.
something like a club. Like, I don't want to dress up if I'm going out dancing.
Yeah.
It sounds like no one else agrees with me.
I don't go to clubs.
It depends. If you're going somewhere like lit, then it makes sense. But like, you know, I
Yeah.
feel like that place wasn't. It was like trying to be more than it was. You know what I mean? Like the door guy was like mad into himself. Like, you know.
They don't respect the streetwear.
No.
See, you could be wearing like a $10,000 outfit, but if you're not wearing a button shirt, collared shirt, they're not going to let you in.
It's
Yeah.
cringe.
It's kind of weird. I need a collared shirt to take MDMA and drink alcohol in the club. Are you fucking kidding me? How? No, it's just dumb. It's like having to wear a fucking polo if you're going golfing with shorts.
I don't think you have to.
Yeah, some fucking golf clubs will do
clubs?
that.
I think it just looks
Yeah,
nice
like
though to
a
get dressed
club
up in
for
a
golf.
Clubs.
Oh,
Yeah. So that was a good night. How long were you guys out for? How long? Like you just went clubbing, basically?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
went clubbing, we went karaoke, and
Oh, you went to karaoke.
But we got
Wait,
there and
dog.
it hit 3 o'clock, and then they just finished up the singing.
Oh,
Uh,
such
So
a
we didn't get to
shame.
sing.
That sucks. So you guys, like after clubbing, did you regroup up with the rest of the people we're out with?
Yeah, we just went back to GG Easy.
Oh, and they were still there.
Uh,
Alcoholics. Yeah. A lot of alcoholics in the Misfits.
Yeah. You guys disgust me.
What?
I said you guys disgust me.
Yeah. So Mason today, this morning, he came up to me. We were chilling upstairs, and he said that he wanted to get a tattoo done.
I did.
And what tattoo did you get, Mr. Mesa?
I got my brother's name tattooed on my knuckles, mate.
show
Wait,
him
that's your
off.
brother's name?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was for Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
So did 100 other fucking people on Twitter.
So the dumb cunts on Twitter that seen my tweet fucking thought it was a Kobe Bryant tattoo, but
It's actually your brother whose name is Kobe.
it's my brother whose name's Kobe, spelt with a Y.
K-O-B-Y.
K-O-B-Y.
K-O-B. Kobe.
This episode of the Misfits podcast is, of course, as usual, brought to you by Gamersubs. Use code Misfits on gamersubs.gg. And we have a tour coming up, a tiny little tour that we're doing in Boston and in LA, one show in each one. We just added more seats available in Boston. So if you do want to get tickets to either of the shows, go to misfits.tours, tours with a Z, plural.
Z?
I mean, an S, sorry.
Ash, you fucking idiot.
Tours. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm an idiot.
Misfits.tours.
Yeah, we're not that cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so go there, and then through there you can figure out which one you want to go to. And it should be pretty fun.
Fuck those fucking tickets. I want to see you. Better be cracking your fucking knuckles in the audience again.
Gotta be lit.
I'm going to go viral again on Reddit 4 times.
Fantastic. And lastly, we are, of course, brought to you by the fantastic people over at Scuffed.store, also known as us, making some dope fucking clothing. So yeah, go check out the clothing and buy some. It's all really high quality, and we genuinely wear it all the time because we fucking love it. And you
Support the
will too.
crew. Come on, just support it.
Yeah.
that's the one.
So, also though, when Mason wanted me to take him to get the tattoo, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll take you." And in the tattoo parlor, they had one of those little machines, those little capsule machines where you put $1 in, you twist the handle, and then a little ball pops out, right? There's a little prize inside the ball. So you do that. You give them $80. You get a spin, and then inside the capsule is a little tattoo, and you get that.
And what is your role?
And I got crabs.
You got a crab.
You're on SCD.
I got a little crab,
What?
and you know it doesn't really make sense with the rest of my arm, but I think it's cute, and the story is nice.
It's crab rave, dude.
Yeah, crab rave. It's some gang shit. Not really. Not some gang shit. I'm not affiliated with any gangs. But today, of course, we are joined by the fantastic Bobby Misner.
Yes.
The one and only.
Welcome.
the viral sensation.
Billionaire's son.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know who Bobby is, Bobby is, of course, a
Wanker.
person with a... All right, he called himself out. But basically, was it last year you made the video?
Yeah.
About a year ago.
2018, 2018.
Yeah.
It was like in
Bobby made a
November.
video titled "The Life of a Billionaire's Son."
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and did well. Has a fuckload of views now.
Yeah.
Some people didn't like it.
How many views
Some
did it
people
get?
did like
I
it.
think it's about 5
Nearly
mil,
6
6
mil.
mil.
Oh, fucking right. Fuck.
Alright.
Yeah. So, let's start about talking. Let's start talking about like the video. So, you made this video, and was it the first video on your channel?
No, I'd been doing it for maybe six months.
Okay.
We went to since Coachella that year.
Yeah.
So me and my boy went to Coachella, and I was like, "Yo," I wasn't doing anything. I was just like partying in LA, and he was partying with me. And he was like, "Bro, we could both do YouTube together," because like he was doing lifestyle stuff, and then I had just had a sick lifestyle, so it was like, let's just film
that's
it.
sick.
Yeah.
And then I just like really liked it, and he was like, "Bro, you're really talented, like editing and like filming just naturally." And then so I picked it up really quickly, and then I just liked doing it, and we were just having fun like filming stuff. And then like it was 6 months later, I was just bored in London. I was like, "Well, let's make another video, right?" And then I had that intro where I took the piece from Guy Ritchie's film, the audio from Rock and Roller, and then it went into like boom, like with the backing music, and then go like basically a bit of a misfit kid, like whatever. I had that like first bit there, and I showed him that shit, and he was like, "Bro, that's gonna go viral. You're gonna get like 100,000 views." I was like, "Shut up, bro! Like, what are you talking about, bro? You're getting like a couple hundred views."
Yeah.
Wait, so did you edit that video?
Yeah, I
shit.
edited the whole thing for sure, and then filmed by me, and then also obviously the shots first me and my boy Brandon.
Yeah.
And then obviously you weren't expecting it to do as well as it did.
No.
And what was, I think I heard somewhere on the first day, you went to sleep and it was on about like 15,000 views, right?
Yeah.
And that was like a lot for you, and you were
Yeah, I was like,
pretty
whoa,
hyped about that.
sick.
Yeah. and then you woke up the next day and it had what 1.4 or
No,
something.
I think the next day it was like 50. Then it went to 100, and then by midweek it was like 500,000.
Yeah.
So I posted Sunday, Wednesday it was like 500,000.
Okay.
And then it just started like going up. It was at 1 million by Friday. We went out like clubbing like crazy.
Yeah.
And then I woke up the next day super hungover, like 4 p.m. Boy busts into my room. He's like, dude, million views overnight.
That's what I heard. That is insane.
I was
So
like,
sick.
whoa.
Yeah. So we actually saw the video when it was probably around like
This is-
600K.
As soon as we moved into Misfits house, we all watched it together.
Yeah, so we all watched it, and the bit that we were part of the reason why we watched it was because you kept calling yourself a misfit, and we just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But like the video itself, it's a pretty fucking solid video, and if I
well made.
recall, from what I heard, the video initially had a like really good reception, right?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was all the people who just found it and like it was getting recommended to, they were all seeing it and they were like, oh, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
wow, like who are you? And like, this video is cool. Like, haven't seen this, whatever. And then the commentators started to pick it up. And as soon as they started like doing the commentary, obviously it was going even more viral, but
Right.
then all the hate was coming in.
It was
Yeah.
more of a negative
Yeah.
light shown on it through the commentary.
Yeah. But which was cool because like I feel like if it's like, you know, an actual piece of art, you either have to like hate it or love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that meant that it was like forcing people to have an opinion on that, you know, rather than just being like a sort of in the middle video. And I feel like that's why it went viral. You know?
That is a great mindset to have on it too. So like when the first few people started picking up on it negatively, I remember you went on a couple of their shows, right? Like you went on a couple podcasts. and stuff.
Jack Mate's
Mm.
podcast.
Yeah. So what made you want to do that?
Well,
Because for anyone who doesn't know, Jack made a reasonably length video about basically just calling Bobby a douchebag,
yeah.
and essentially.
Yeah.
So it was like pretty ballsy to go on his podcast.
Yeah.
Mad respect for that.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know, myself already. It wasn't like I was like an insecure kid at the time. I'd already like living like my life, you know,
Yeah.
and I felt like I was comfortable with who I was. So none of the hate or anything like really affected me because I was like, fuck it, like I know who I am, like I'm chilling, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw that Jack May wanted to do a podcast, and I was like, yeah, for sure, because I wanted to like keep it going, you know. So I wanted to make sure I could figure out a way to like get a formula going of what these videos, can I remake them in that kind of style, like can I keep doing it? And it'd be cool to go on a podcast because then I can go out of that style and show people that, you know,
You
like,
are a
I'm
person.
Not, I'm not
Yeah,
just like,
you break,
fucking, like,
you essentially break the
Yeah.
character by going on the podcast.
Yeah.
Anything long format is just good in general to really show who you are as a person.
Yeah, and I believe most of the people really liked your you being a guest on that podcast. Like I think a lot of people really enjoyed what you had to say.
You know, because people went from watching. How long was that video that you posted? Like 6 minutes, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
8 minutes.
You know, you have an 8-minute video where you're watching this guy who you have no idea who they are before even watching the video. Just flex, you know, the private jet, the Gucci clothes.
It's pretty sick though.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's sick. But you know, and then they get all these negative opinions, and that's who you are, concrete in their head after watching the video. That's the first impression, and the long format podcast helps break that first impression,
Yeah.
and it puts you into a more realistic perspective, which is lit.
I always said like a lot of people viewed that video as like showing off, right? And I always said to myself, if I ever came into like a lot of money, I would definitely make a channel showing like what I was doing with my life and like the cool shit that I was that money had unlocked for me, right? Because I know that I personally love watching that shit. So to me, like when I saw the video, that was kind of the vibe I got. It was just like, you know, someone who was in a cool position showing off what that position was able to give him, you know? And that's why I thought the idea for the channel was so cool. Yeah.
I do like just showing that stuff though, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like all I really want is like to be able to show people in the best way how I feel like through the video, you know? Because like to explain like how sometimes it feels is just like, it's like euphoric, you know? How you can, at times of your life, you just feel euphoric. Like everything is like perfect. You know, like, wow, this couldn't get any better.
Yeah.
And then like, I want to be able to like show that, like recreate, like, I don't know, these shots and stuff and like try get the music that I'm like, I would listen to when I'm like, traveling or like we're on the road, like partying and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I wanted to like feel like that. So that was my main, like going into like making videos was just to put the music to it and have like these really cool, like cinematic scenes of what the life would be like,
I can totally get that. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. There's some times where you're just in this moment, where like, for example, we went to Poland and there was just a moment where we were driving down the Autobahn in a van with all our friends, like vibing to some music,
drinking beers.
Yeah, and trees
the
buzzing past us.
The driver also drinking beers.
Ooh, nice.
About 120.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, there are just these moments where you kind of think to yourself, like, I will think, what music would be like perfect here? Or like, I'll be listening to a song and I'm like, what scene would be perfect?
Yeah, I
to
do that all
fit
the
this
time.
What is
song?
the perfect vibe?
Yeah.
Mm.
And like that sort of stuff, I feel like is the sort of thing that is kind of in the back of like people that love filmmaking's minds. And like, I can see that that's like what you are like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you always have a passion for video creation, for film?
For me, it was always a passion for film. I never really made videos so much.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Recently, okay, I didn't know because recently The Gentleman came out by Guy Ritchie and he's like my favorite director.
Mm-hmm.
So I put that in top 5, but it's still Rock and Roller number 1, just because I always related to Johnny Quid in that, in like a little I don't know, some way.
Mm-hmm.
And then like how his dad's like a gangster and like is sort of like detached from his parents, and like it was like it glamorized that whole thing and how he went to boarding school and then he was like this badass. And
Your dad's a gangster?
I kind of felt, but no, but he's like in a way like me growing up. I always felt like he was.
I thought it was a billionaire.
Because he used to be really hard. Like now he's like quite nice.
Life of a gangster's son.
Oh,
So on that note, I want to talk about like your childhood. So like you were brought up in Australia.
Yeah.
And did you know your dad when you were growing up?
Yeah. Well, my parents are divorced since like,
Yeah.
I was really young. I think, like 5 or something.
Gross.
And
Yeah.
Then I just lived with my mom, and I don't know. I didn't see him much because it was just more like he was still like, at the peak of like his company, like going around the world all the time or whatever.
Yeah.
But more when I was like a teenager and then when I was because I kept getting in trouble like loads of different schools, and it was like just my mom, and like, like I could like manipulate her to like, make her believe that I was doing everything right.
What kind of trouble were you getting into?
Just I don't know, just whatever
Just
bullshit,
the trouble kids get
like
into, yeah.
Fights, vandalism.
like doing like starting little fires and just skating with my
What
friends.
the
and-
fuck?
Okay.
Starting little fires.
Yeah.
Little arson.
we used to blow up like deodorant. One time we blew up, so we got all these fireworks, super excited, but like firecrackers. This is an international school in Munich, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And me and all my friends, like we went to this place called Theresienwiese, which is where they have the Oktoberfest in Munich. And we put all the fireworks there next to this building. And my one German friend, we're like, what does that building say? And he's like, oh, it's just where they store wires or some shit, right? And anyway, we start doing this shit. My friend throws his deodorant can on. We're all standing there like, oh, cool. Like, just like looking at it going, pew. And then like my boy is like, I'm like stood opposite him. He's like stood there around the corner, by the corner of the building. He looks behind him and then he just looks at me and he's like, his face is just like fucking shook. And then he looks back and he's like, bro, cops, fucking starts sprinting at me.
Oh shit.
We're like 13 years old. I start running away. Our friend Owen, the most annoying thing, just gets on the ground, puts his hands on his head.
Oh,
Like, shit.
what a wanker. What a coward.
So we're like bailing. We're like, oh, we're fucked. Like, you know what I mean? We're staying at Owen's house. Like, he gets on the floor. We run around the corner, hide some fireworks, come back out. But Buddy got caught. Obviously, Germans are like, they're like kind of like still like a police state, So like everyone's a cop, bro. So they call up, and the place that we were doing it right next to was actually the temporary police station for the Oktoberfest.
Oh my God.
They thought that we were
That is 200
terrorists.
IQ.
They thought we were terrorists, like trying to blow it up. So
Yeah.
someone
Jesus.
said that. So Buddy pulls a gun. He drifts around the corner, pulls a gun out on us. He's like, get on the floor.
That's fucking lit.
And like we're like, oh shit. Then he's like, and then he starts getting mad at us because we were kids. He's like, I could have shot you. And we're like, ah.
Yeah, if a cop ever pulls a gun, you just got to be like,
don't do that. What the fuck?
A great way to get yourself killed. For anyone who isn't watching the video, Swagger just reached into his jacket as if he was pulling out a gun.
No, finger guns.
Top one things not to do.
And then you pull out your phone, you're like, it's okay.
I just want to say, when Bobby was talking about his parents being divorced, I said gross. I was talking about Swagger.
And Mason started to laugh as well.
Swagger was drinking a beer through his balaclava and it was dripping down his chin. That was what was gross, not Bobby's parents being divorced.
And that's why Mason laughed also, not because his parents got divorced.
Context.
But
Context.
your dad like sold his company when you were like 15, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2011.
How did your life change much like initially when that happened?
It was I don't know. We knew like my dad just started to talk about all these things he was gonna buy and stuff like this, and he was looking at jet brochures and
Really?
yachts, and
Yeah.
we already were going on like holidays for like 2 years because the company was like getting transferred, and he was like the CEO, acting CEO still. So then they still like paid him, and then he could get a company holiday. So we were like just like spending the company's money like on holidays and shit. But then when it did go through, I remember he just like threw like this bank balance thing onto my bed when I was like little, and just like just had the bank balance there, and I was like, oh, lit.
That is
That's
so
kind
cool.
of badass.
Yeah. And then my dad started buying boats first. Lost a lot of money with buying boats.
Yeah,
because-
boats are a money pit.
Yeah, he bought one, and then it was like not big enough. We were like, we went places, and he was like, "This is not big enough." Like everyone else is bigger around us. And then he got another one, and then he got another one. The final one we had was Bliss, and that was a really, really fire boat, like a 46-meter Heeson.
Well, that was the huge one that has to have a crew, right?
Yeah,
The crew lives on it year round.
Yeah, you got to have a crew
Holy
around.
fuck!
All in all, it's going to cost you like $100,000 a month just to keep it. You know,
They
plus
just
depreciation.
need all your fucking food.
Right.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about super yachts, like and mega yachts. You genuinely just have to pay people to always be on it. It's so crazy.
Not a bad deal getting hired on one of those fucking things.
Just to sleep. And
Ryan's
Sleep and eat food. Check the engine every once in a while. Make sure you don't drift off to fucking Gilligan's Island. That's top tier.
Damn.
Yeah, we know someone. I don't think we're allowed to say who, but we know someone that worked on a super yacht. We hung out with them in Rotterdam. Yeah, I think a lot of those people, because they're like rich people, they obviously value their privacy, and I think they're not actually allowed. Just the crew
I
isn't
actually
allowed
have
to
a story. My boy was like working on a ship when I was like, I've only ever had like one like serious girlfriend where I was like all over, and just like I had a job at the time, and I was like trying to be serious and shit. And I was like so in love with this girl, like infatuated, and I remember when she cheated on me, I found out from my boy like working on a yacht, was like, dude, she fucked this dude, and he has like a way bigger boat than you.
When it's to that level.
I was heated, bro. I was like, fuck, bro. I went to Monaco the next week, and I was like trying to start a fight with this dude. He had all these securities, this Russian kid. I just had my two sisters with me.
He had bigger security guards too.
I just had my two sisters. My sister in like a fur coat, like, oh shit.
Oh my sisters.
God.
Why were you bringing your sisters for backup?
We were just going out, and then like he was there, and I was like getting drunk, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy think he is? And shit. Like,
on the subject of
Hey,
girls,
are you the guy with the big boat?
I was so mad, bro. I was so mad.
on the subject of girls, do you think that being public about how much money your family has is something that makes finding a girl difficult, or it makes it a little bit of a barrier at least?
True.
I think it's like no, because I'm so used to it, and I'm like so upfront, and like I'll just like be outspoken when I'm around people like getting lit, and there's like I can see a girl doing some sly shit. I always call people out.
What's
I'm just
sly?
Like, What do you mean?
What do you mean by sly?
I don't know.
shit?
Just like if you see like a girl like talk, I don't know, if a girl starts talking about something like, oh, like I went on this like trip to Dubai and like all this shit, and starts flexing, and I'm like, bitch, I know who paid for that. You know what I mean? Like,
That's funny.
So
I see.
you went in the video. You spoke about going to this really prestigious private school that this like boarding school that was housed to like bankers and business owners and all this stuff. What was that school like? Like,
it was like really, really, very much so boarding school like culture kind of place. It's quite big. It's got a lot of rejects that like me, who didn't have like good grades, because a lot of top boarding schools, like Eton and stuff. You have to go there from like the start of high school, and you have to have good grades as a
Holy
kid.
shit.
Like, they're not bad kids at those ones, you know. The bad kids go to like Millfield and stuff, and it's still really expensive, but then it gets this big international crowd that want to do the English education system. Like you get a lot of Middle Eastern people, you get Asian people, Swiss, and one thing all in common, like everyone's rich.
Yeah.
You know, and there's all like a lot of money chat, like whose parents, who, like, where are you going on holiday? Like, what do you have? How many bottles are you buying when you're going out? All this shit.
Was that the first school that you went to that was that sort of crowd?
I mean, I went to like a lot of different, I mean, mostly like preparatory schools, but that was the most where it was like about money, because we were like near London and stuff.
Yeah.
When it was in like Australia, obviously I was younger, and Australia is different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who was the biggest cunt? And what did he do? Was anyone ever just a piece of shit?
There's
all
definitely
the
got to be
time?
one.
Yeah,
It's fucking boarding school.
There. Okay, I'm gonna say their names because I don't even know.
Yeah,
them
do
anymore.
it. Who cares?
Alfie, just
Oh,
like
we'll
proper
bleep,
like geezer.
We'll bleep the last name. We'll bleep. So Alfie.
That's such a dickhead name.
Yeah, Alfie. Exactly name.
Alfie. You know, you talk like this, innit? And you play football. And
Oh, shit.
I don't know. You just chatted a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot of dickheads.
Can you tell us the story of how you got kicked out of the school?
Well, the thing is, you got to understand with boarding schools, no one really gets kicked out. You get asked to leave.
Okay, that makes
Very
sense.
forceful.
I have been
situation.
asked to leave school as well.
So what if you say no?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
stay
that's
here.
what I did. I was like, nah, like they like, you're gonna go on a red report card. You get one thing wrong, you're gonna be expelled, right? And I was like, oh, I can do it, like stupidly. And then they both just sat there, dead face, like kind of like wrong answer type thing. They're like,
Yeah.
You sure? Like,
Ooh.
they're like, I really think you should reconsider it. And I'm like, well, maybe.
Oh
She's like, I think you should go home.
So-
So you go back to your boarding house and you pack your things and you go home.
What?
And what if you just stood your ground and you were like, no, you fucking bitch.
You don't understand the head of year. My sister had the same head of year. People know who that is.
Well, was she a nun with the ruler?
She was just like Corella DeVille. Do you know Corella DeVille?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Who's that?
101 Dalmatians.
Oh,
Yeah.
that girl.
Fuck, that's
Oh,
scary.
she would have bent you over a knee and smacked your bare ass.
Yeah, she was scary, bro.
Okay, can we tell the audience, can we explain like what actually led to
So
them asking you to leave?
it was like all year, you know, I'd been just doing bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I was just not even doing the work. I was just playing GTA on my laptop in class.
Oh, laptop gamer.
I was a laptop kid as well. Like I like at this, you weren't allowed. You're supposed to have paper, but at the first day of school, you know, I come in with my laptop. I'm like, I'm a special education. I need a laptop.
Special education.
And anyway,
I did the exact same thing.
I was also in special ed.
Yeah, and I was just messing around all year. I got caught selling fake IDs one time.
Epic.
Sneaking
Bad
out,
boy.
stuff like that.
How'd you
And
sell
then-
fake IDs?
Well, I was just, you know, upselling them. So like, there was a website and you had to get them, and then I would charge kids like twice in cash.
Oh, that's
and get-
genius.
I'll
Big
get it.
brain.
Oh, that's like drop shipping.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you went to Saint Tropez for your birthday,
Yeah.
right?
So then it got led up till it was my birthday around near to exam times.
Where's Saint Tropez?
Saint
South of
Tropez in
France.
the south of France.
Okay, I'm American. I thought it was in Spain.
No.
It's all right.
You were saying you went to the south of France.
Yeah. So it was my 18th. I was like, I'm not going to stay in school for my 18th birthday.
Fair enough.
You have
That's fair.
Saturday school at that school, right?
Oh,
So,
ew!
That's fucking disgusting.
You only had Sundays off.
yeah. And then we decided to leave Friday night. Made up some. I had my mom's email. He was my other friend Henry. Like his parents would just send in things. So like we just made up some lies. Like I was like, I have to go get like this visa thing or something.
Yeah.
And then I went there. My parents. It was a public holiday, but you don't get public holidays at boarding school on Monday. So we skipped Monday as well and told my parents, oh, it's public holiday. It's fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then when we came back, it was like Snapchat. We were doing all these Snapchats. Like I was riding jet skis and like having fun and all the shit, right?
Mhm.
And then when we get back to school, obviously everyone was like, where were you? Like, you know what I mean? Like you weren't in school and like all this shit.
No
And
way
then
someone
rumors spread straight
snitched
away.
on you.
100%.
Oh, it's private
Are
school.
you
100%.
serious? That's
100%.
so
You
dumb.
know, boarding school must have like 1,000 different Randalls fucking running around with their notebooks there to fucking tattle.
That's so lame.
Have you seen Recess? when you were a kid? That cartoon show Recess?
Is it with no, that's Hey Arnold.
No. This kind of hasn't even played Minecraft.
No.
You know that? Fun fact.
All right.
Fun fact.
I mean, not everyone's a gamer.
Oh, dude, it was so disappointing when because we were in Queensland not too long ago, meeting up with Bobby, and we were in that Airbnb with the giant grand piano, and I played the Minecraft Sweden thing.
Actually, I believe it was a baby grand,
baby grand,
like the smallest grand piano you can get. Swagger.
It was big. It was grand to me.
Okay.
But I'm playing Minecraft Sweden. Him and his friend Ford are there, and I'm like, "Do you know what the song is?" And Mason's there. He's like, "Yeah, do you know what the song is?" And I keep playing it. He didn't know. I got so frustrated.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the most gamer thing ever.
Were you much of a gamer besides GTA on the laptop?
I played Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 like a lot.
Like,
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 I played a lot.
COD 4, that was like my game of choice when I was at school on a laptop and didn't want to do work. It was COD 4. Yeah. Especially because COD 4 worked on Apple and I had an Apple laptop, whereas like nothing else fucking worked on Apple laptops.
Did you play COD with a trackpad? Please tell me you didn't.
I think I must have.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Oh, why?
I think I must have.
COD with a
Bro, it's better than class.
Dude, when you that was all you had, it didn't matter. It was
It
better
didn't
than
matter, bro.
class.
It was like
Oh,
amazing.
negative
even-
200 KD.
I don't want to imagine that.
The
Right.
problem is like you can't like just get out of GTA or like the game. You know what I mean? It's like
There's no
it's
alt
full
tab.
screen.
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
can't-
yeah.
So like the teacher would come around and just like put my laptop screen.
Jesus.
You're
Yeah.
doing your work and you're over there fucking hatcheting a man to death in first person.
That's why he got expelled, because he was playing COD on a trackpad. He's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Please get a mouse. What are you, poor? You don't belong here.
Okay, what are some like standout stories from your life? Like what is your like go-to story to tell someone about
Biggest
something
bender.
crazy?
What's your
biggest
bender?
bender is that tattoo there.
What the fuck?
man.
Oh yes, you told us the
Yeah.
story. Yes,
It's a good story.
Repeat
So it was just initially it was AD, which stands for Alicia Davis. So I was like partying in London, recently just gained access to like a lot of money, and I was getting lit. It was summer, and then went out, bought a bunch of champagne for all these girls, had this crazy dinner, and there was like a lot of models with us. So I was really excited, having a great night.
Yeah.
Flights to Ibiza in the morning.
Ooh,
We're having an
good
after
pull.
party, and I was like, yo, like, let's take these two girls. Like, me and my boy, like, let's take two of these girls with us. One was Australian, so I was like already like going off with her. And we were just still on a bender, went into Ibiza, kept going, ended up at this place called The Cave, which is like, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a really crazy place. If you go to Ibiza,
The
it's,
cave?
yeah.
What is it?
It's like a owned by this rich guy, and it's basically like in the middle of Ibiza. There's no Wi-Fi or cell signal or anything, and it's kind of like this little like estate with like different areas in it. And you start off like up by the pool,
Sounds like a good place to
and
get
then you
murdered.
go down to like the it's
True.
it is
Jesus
kind of like that,
Christ.
but then there'll be like random famous people there and shit like that. Like there was like some boxer there, and like what's the big box? There was some boxer there, and
Logan Paul?
no. And then we ended up getting married. I mean, because that day we decided we were going to get married.
Swagger's face. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so yeah, big place. Yeah, it was like a really big bathroom. Yeah, we got married. What do you mean you got married?
But it seemed like the logical thing to do at the time.
Hey,
We
dude.
were both very high, and we were like, all of us,
High
were like,
on
my
what?
friend as well. We were like, oh, let's do this 100%. We went to the jewelry store.
fuck?
I came there in like a dressing gown from my hotel.
You went to the jewelry store in a dressing gown?
I went to jewelry store.
Biggest flex.
Biggest flex.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And the guy was initially like didn't want to let us in. It was like this Spanish store, and I was like, oh, I know they won't have like anything too crazy expensive anywhere. Like I was like, get me the manager or something. And I was like, they're like, oh, just look through the window. He'll come out in a sec. When he came out, I was like, I need a wedding ring, the most expensive wedding ring you have. He puts me in, and it was like, luckily it was like only 3,000.
Oh,
So-
yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
How big
Yeah.
was it? Like, was it 3,000?
It was like a normal, diamond.
3,000
like,
carats.
Like, was it?
Funny story though, when we got the divorce a
Oh.
week later, my sister, I told her, I was like, yo, go steal the wedding ring from beside her bed before she gets
Wait,
out of here.
so how long were you married for?
It's not legit though. You
It
know
wasn't
what I mean?
a legal
because
marriage?
it was like my friend had this reverend license type thing.
Oh.
There was a chapel
Oh
there.
shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I guess. I guess.
Yeah.
So you weren't married on paper.
I'm not gonna. You know what I mean? Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of money involved. I'm not just gonna get married to someone.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Saint of Minds did prevail at a certain point. It was all fun and games in Ibiza though.
Yeah.
You know, and then she really did think we were married. You know, she was at my crib, like we were looking at like an apartment to get and stuff, and I was
guess
like, it was getting way too real for me. And I was
I
like,
guess you were too high to think of the prenup, huh?
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So you told us a story about how very recently you were in Japan and something bad happened. But I want to preface this. Let's begin by talking about what it is you do for like work at the moment. Dramatic jewel rip.
Okay, so where I make most of my money is actually making videos for other people.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I make like last year I made a festival video with my boy Matthias. I do a lot of my gigs with. It's Candyland Productions, which advertised in the first one, and everyone was like, "Oh, why does he need a production company to make his video?" And I was like, "It's just me."
Yeah.
Anyway, I got a lot of after that. All that was going on my YouTube, like rappers started to like want me to make them like lifestyle videos because they just saw like I knew how to like shoot all that and like what it was about and stuff. So first I worked for French Montana, and then I did like some stuff for Disney. So Disney's a client of mine now, and Designer, a rapper. So,
Yeah.
So
for those of you sitting at the table who don't know why I led the Japan stuff with the what he does for work, it's because you were working for Designer at that time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were on tour. This is last November, like late November, actually near the anniversary for my video. So I had a video planned and everything, and it was gonna be lit. But we go on tour. It's to Asia for like the U.S. military, and
Wait, so Designer was doing a tour for the U.S. military?
for the U.S. military.
God
that's cool.
bless Designer.
That's cool. Yeah.
Serving the troops, you know.
Yeah.
Hell
And,
yeah.
we got to. So I take Adderall medication. Because I have a very stressful job, like editing and stuff. Especially, I used to edit on this tiny laptop, bro.
Yeah. I just want to say for the audience, I know what you're thinking. It's a billionaire. It's a billionaire's son talking about having a stressful job. But recording and editing videos for someone while on tour, that does genuinely sound super stressful.
Especially if you're the only cunt doing it.
Yeah.
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 I see.
Yeah. So I get prescribed this medication. Anyway, I go to Asia not thinking about it, and in Korea they were like, "Oh, you can't bring this in, but you can have it back on the way out." And then we went out partying in Korea, and we at 5 a.m. that we had the flight to Japan, and I picked up the Adderall back in the airport. They just gave it back to me, and I was like, okay, sweet. And go into Japan, and I'm like hungover, asleep the whole way. Go start going through customs. They see me come up with like Designer. Obviously draws a lot of attention. They start searching our bags.
Yeah.
And they go into my bag, and they start just strip. They come in like a team of 6. They start stripping all apart. They're like, what you know Adderall's illegal, like all this shit, like saying it's like, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like I don't know, like, you know, like I'm just on tour, like I take this, and they didn't care. They were just like, this is illegal, like who are you? They want to go on my phone. They start laying all my shit out. They search my whole bag, and I was like, oh, I'm fucked. These guys they don't care. They just didn't care what I was saying. You know?
Were you shitting yourself?
Yeah, for sure.
I
Literally,
think
shit
most
himself.
people would be, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a fucking episode of Border Force, bro. I sat there like, oh no,
shit.
bro, I'm that guy. And then they just
What
put
was
me in
Designer's
cuffs.
reaction?
I don't know. I didn't.
They put you in separate rooms?
Yeah, separate rooms, and then I was slapped in cuffs, and then when I got there, it was like crazy, you know, because I was just like freaking out at first, like I'm gonna be in prison for a couple of years, like this is like you fucked it, you know.
Yeah,
like,
because there are so many stories of people that get arrested in Asian countries from
it's a real
places
thing.
like
Oh,
Australia.
well, yeah, you got an eighth of weed.
Oh my god! Oh my! Oh Jesus!
You know what I mean? Like you grew
Yeah.
up with stories like Chappelle Corby and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, there are
That shit's
people that
fucking
just sit in prison
crazy.
forever there. Yeah.
All right, so
Isn't like the conviction rate in Japan like 97%?
97%.
That is
That's
fucked
insane.
So you do something, they're fucking getting it.
Yeah.
They're
Their
in the game.
mindset there is basically like, well, if you got
up.
arrested.
Guilty till proven innocent type stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's more that they're like super strict.
It's not
on
like
who
that,
they
but
arrest
it
people,
is
what
like
they
that.
arrest people for. I think.
Yeah. It's like you I don't think it is technically, but it is like that.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I had no communication, couldn't call anyone.
You have
I
no
like-
rights.
I couldn't do anything until I was getting interviewed by a prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
He's then like grilling me. They're going into my phone. Like I had to give them access, otherwise they think, they're like, oh, like, well, why won't you let us in your phone?
Yeah, you can't be an American with like the whole I have
No.
rights thing.
There's none of that. Like you just got to be like open book with them, Like and you can't have your lawyer involved at the start either.
Wow.
It's
He can only
crazy.
advise you.
Oof.
Yeah, your emails are like monitored, so you can have an email through the lawyer to like your parents.
Yeah.
But it's monitored. Like you have to like, only say certain things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening as a result?
You were there for 2 months, right?
Yeah, I was there for 2 months. It took 2 months to get to trial,
Yeah.
and then it was the
Trial?
Christmas holidays, and they
You-
took a break there. And
So were you just sitting in a cell? What was the
At-
what
at-
was the living quarters like?
at first I was just in. It was like a holding cell.
Mhm.
And there was like 3 other guys in there with me. Toshi, shout out Toshi, absolute legend.
Do you know what?
Shout out Toshi.
Can you say what they did? Like, did you talk to them much?
Yeah, I made friends with Toshi actually. Toshi was like probably the reason, because I was like freaking out,
Yeah.
know?
Mm.
Yeah.
And he'd been in and out of prison, this guy, since he was like 17. He must have been in his 30s, but he acted like a child. And I think this is fantastic. He's got like a sense of humor. He was like
Yeah.
buzzing. He was like bouncing off the walls, pissing off the guards and stuff like that. And I was like, this guy's great,
Yeah.
So it was really up and down, Sometimes obviously I'm like at night, you're freaking out, and like they still got the light kind of on. They never turn them off.
Yeah, well,
and
must
you're
have
sleeping
been-
on the floor. Like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 3 bowls of rice a day. Like
Yeah, that's
it's
a deal.
heavy.
Yum, dude. You like rice?
Yeah. But not.
It doesn't matter how much you like rice. Having it for 3 meals a day for
Dude,
2 months,
Did
you're
they
not
give
gonna
you
like.
soy sauce or salt?
It's like sometimes they put like glass noodles on top of it. This is just like
What-
more
what?
rice with rice and noodles. Like,
Oh, I see.
Oh, delicious.
yeah.
Dude, that's
And-
fucking awesome. That's not a bad deal at all.
All right.
That's-
I did
that's
read more books.
That's actually fucked.
Well, yeah, you must have read a ton. Did you work out at all?
Yeah. So I mean, at the start, it was like they had only 8 English books,
Hmm.
and believe it or not, I can actually read very well.
I was gonna say, what did you get through 2 of them?
But yeah, I read them pretty quick, and I was like, oh shit, I had nothing to do. Then Toshi left, the guy I told you about. It was like, cool.
Oh no.
And and then I was just alone in this cell, and a couple other random drunk drivers came in and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wrote a diary day by day, and that's what my next video is. So
Oh, yeah.
go check
Holy
that out.
shit,
on
that'll
my
be
channel.
interesting.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, what is your channel for the people listening?
Bobby Misner. It's
Yeah.
just my name.
Yeah, so just look that up on YouTube, and you'll be able to find him.
BOBBYMISNER.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you wrote a journal.
Yeah, so I wrote a day by day diary thing, which is like, when I look back at it, it's kind of, I feel like I wrote it in the way that I was gonna, like, how I was gonna speak it.
Yeah.
And then I've got that recorded, and it's kind of like my other videos in a way, but it's obviously a lot more meaningful than any of the others to
Yeah.
me now.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you were in
Um,
prison for 2 months.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot longer as well. It's gonna be different, It's not gonna be just like a fast pace, like boom, like fast cars and beautiful girls and shit
Yeah,
like that. It's
yeah.
gonna be like, showing the
Mm.
actual story of it, like me actually telling you in depth
Yeah.
what it was like. Because, I mean, I feel like it's a really interesting thing to happen,
Yeah,
especially
totally.
to someone like me.
Are you
you know.
allowed back in Japan?
Not for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
So
Yeah.
were you in a prison or were you in like a detainment camp?
Yeah. So first it was it was like a holding cell. That's the worst because you're just on the floor. There's like a hole in the back of the room is the toilet,
Mm-hmm.
and it's super strict.
It was
Actually,
just a hole
yeah,
in the ground.
yeah. Just
No
like,
plumbing?
What?
No, it's plumbing, but you know, it's the toilet is just like a hole.
Oh, so
But you can flush it.
is it like the little Japanese toilet, which is like a little urinal on the ground, a little porcelain piece, and you squat
kinda
over it?
Kind of, yeah, squat. You're supposed to squat over it.
Oh, that's uncomfortable.
I didn't do that though.
I bet the
You didn't shit for
didn't
2 months.
No, I didn't do the squatting.
say,
I didn't get it. I was like, why are the fucking buddies just going in there? And
sitting
he's
on
like,
the ground ripping shit for 3 bowls of rice a day. That must have been like some wholesome fiber.
Oh my god.
It's fucking awesome.
I got moved the day before Christmas to the main prison, the Naha prison there, which is like, then you're in solitary.
You were in solitary
What the
confinement?
fuck?
Yeah, but it's not too bad as far as like, you know, because I've seen like a lot of videos in like prisons. I feel like in America it's worse, but at the same time in America you get arrested for something, they got to charge you straight away, and then like, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like you can
Well, you
get
have
out
Trial
like, on bail
and a jury and
yeah.
bail, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
safeguards.
Yeah.
Were you interacting at all with the general population of the prison, or were you pretty much separate
No, so
as a foreigner?
Yeah, you're kept pretty much separate. You're not really allowed to talk to the other prisoners and stuff. There is an exercise area, but it's like you exercise on your own little solitary pen thing.
Wow.
Was there a pretty significant language barrier with a lot of the people?
Yeah, even the guards, like there was only 1 or 2 of the guards who were the assigned translators.
Oh, wow.
That would be stressful.
That would be very stressful.
Yeah,
Especially if the guard's telling you to do something, you have no idea what the fuck they want.
yeah. Word. I mean, it's pretty simple because you just don't really leave your cell, you know. So they just do everything, and you just like you're like, okay, yeah, like sign this shit, like, you know.
Okay, I have a question for someone who is young and dumb, not in like a stupid way, but you know what I mean, like young and reckless, and has access to a lot of money, or had access at times. What are some like really cool places or experiences that you've been to that you think like everyone should try and do at least once? Have you got any things that are just like super sick?
And not cocaine.
Well, if you're really young and if it's your first time having like a lot of money, access to it, first of all, like, don't go too crazy, and like life is definitely a lot longer than you think it is. You know?
Yeah.
And money goes like that, you know, don't let people use you and shit. But I'd say the coolest things you can do are always going to be the experiences. In my past, like I'm someone who's been through like spending all that money, but then what I'd say that you get most out of it is when you do something amazing, like an amazing like trip to Amsterdam, or like this thing when you remember these things.
Just the experience.
And it's the only thing you really own. You know, when I realized when I was in prison, the only thing that was keeping me happy, and I feel like I didn't go too insane, was because I'm actually a really happy guy. Like I have all these happy experiences and past things about my life. Like I think about, you know, the times I spent in summer, or like my dog, and like how all the fun times I had growing up, and like the laughter and the joy, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd say if you want to be reckless, you know what I mean? Just spend it on going places like Amsterdam.
Something meaningful.
Yeah. Like even though you might think it's just like, oh, you're wasting on partying, you're not. Like you experiencing those moments with your friends. I'd say share it. I shared a lot of, like anytime I have money, I want all my other friends to have a good time as well. So like I'll always be very generous like that.
Do you think, like you said at a time that you had access to a lot of money and that you know you can blast it really quickly. Is being financially independent something that is important to you? Yeah,
very important to me. I've always had this big pressure, I feel, growing up with such a successful dad to be somebody, you know. I always had this pressure, and like you're surrounded by other kids. When my school was like so elite, so everyone was like out of school, it's like a competition with each other, like who's doing what. Like
that must be so cancer.
Fuck that.
That's like an unnecessary social strain on someone that's so young. That's terrible.
Yeah, but all schools have.
It does fuck a lot of kids up
money.
there. Right.
Yeah. So like at the moment, you did the movie stuff, like the making films with people. What got you into that? Like how did you kind of break into that industry?
My connections for sure.
Yeah,
I'm really like a friend to people.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like that's what they respect when they meet me in like business situations and stuff. It's like I'll just treat them like, you know, like my friend before I like to do business or be too formal with people or anything. I never like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always found like I have a trusting relationship with someone before I'm doing something, you know. They'll just be like, okay, like fine, you know, I do these, I go party and like I'll do that, but I'm open about it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll like do it with you, and you know, and then at the same time I'm still gonna get on the grind the next day and be like, yo, we gotta make this video, like you know what I mean? Like when I make a music video, like we're all smoking weed and like having a good time and it's fun on set. But then I'll be like, yo, all right, let's film right now. Like let's get it done, you know. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, formality is really like a boner killer, you know.
Yeah.
It really stops the boner.
Stops the natural flow of things.
Yeah. The boner.
Yeah, the boner. Okay. You mentioned like that you think that people can trust you, and I think that that's super important in business. But also like being someone from a wealthy family, do you think it's hard to trust friends? Like, is it difficult to make friends?
You just get better at judging characters. I've interacted with so many people over the past couple of years and met so many influential people and this, that, the other, and this guy with this. I'm about this and I'm about that. You know, so after a while you start to understand people and like and how to work with that. But there are definitely some people that have used me in my past for sure, and I've just like let that happen. But you know, at least I have experienced that and I know that. You know, so I feel like now when I do get money, like I know more what to do with it. And I felt like I was able to learn that from my like reckless lifestyle, from making all these mistakes. Like I was able to, now I'm like, oh, boom, like just hard, no, don't do that type thing, you know? Yeah. Whereas like some people, it just happens and then they're like, they don't get to know.
What are some red flags you come to notice with people that you meet?
Chainmail, balaclavas,
Apple watches.
Asking for money, Apple watches, you know.
There's
jewels.
some people can you just know they have other intentions, but you can everyone, you know, like I like it when people are going after something, you know, and not just hanging off you. Like if they want to do something with their life, then I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. I didn't see that as like using me. Like I see it as like we both get up, you know? Yeah. But
that's something.
There's some people that'll just like, oh, I just want to hang out with you and like let's go like party and like you know, oh, you do it. You're
having an entourage as opposed to like a circle of friends that's collaborative.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about that a lot of times on the podcast when we talk about dating. You know, like we one of the biggest things for Fitz, at least, he's mentioned is that having someone else very clearly driving themselves towards something and having that ambition that they really want to achieve is like so much nicer to live with, and it shows that you can trust them. You know,
I don't like that for dating. There,
if that's fair.
Speaking of people. What's the whole Lindsay Lohan story?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
you were dating Lindsay Lohan?
Like, what is that about?
It was like, obviously, like, slight exaggeration there. You know, it was like 1 week we were together.
Yeah.
That's still insane.
We're more friends than anything, you know? Like, I really think she's a cool girl.
How old is she?
She's in her 30s.
How old are you?
24.
Yeah.
Who cares?
But she was just really cool, and like she was like just saw me as like, this is before like I had done anything really in my life, and she saw me as like kind of like a, you know, someone who
sexy
had this
young
like
Australian with drive and libido.
And I think she thought like, you know, I was someone who wanted to be someone. She could see that. Yeah. And then like that I was just a kind guy, and she just thought like, oh, I just didn't have any like a lot of people around her I feel have like a motive or something they're trying to get done, or like trying to use her in a certain way, and whereas with me, I passed out. Basically, how I met her was went out to a club in London called The Box. My friend Scott, who was her manager at the time, brought her, and we just got crazy turned. And they were giving us all these free shots because she was there, and I was like, "This is lit." We went back to her hotel. We're partying there. I passed out on her couch, and she woke me up the next day, and I was like, "What?" Like, you know what I mean? Like Lindsay Lohan, like fucking waking you up. I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I was just like, "I can't find my phone." She was trying to like help me look for it. She was like, "Come, like, just you'll be fine," and all this shit. And she's smoking cigarettes together, and then she was like, "Go." And then later on, like, I came back because she was like, "I'll come get your phone," and then her friends were there, and we stayed all night. And
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude.
Wholesome.
That's crazy.
Shout out Lindsay Lohan. Fucking Parent Trap. Best fucking Disney movie.
All right.
You guys seen that? The Parent Trap?
Yep.
It was so good. Didn't Lindsay Lohan play her twin sister?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was like twin sisters or something in that movie. I remember the one scene where like they fill up the mosquito spray with sugar water and give it to the stepmom, and then the girlfriend sprays it all over herself, gets bit by bugs.
All right.
That was a great movie.
Damn.
Okay.
Shout out Lindsay.
Okay, that's fucking epic.
But she's cool though, but she smokes too much.
What,
I
alcohol?
would say if you're watching with
Smokes.
Smokes too much
Smoke
alcohol.
too many
Hey,
beers.
it's 2020. You can do that shit now.
A question I had. I don't necessarily agree with this. I think that people that work for their money deserve the wealth they have, but there's a like increasing like social movement, I guess, online of people saying like, you know, the rich they don't deserve to have that much money. No one should have access to that much money. Do you ever feel like guilty about the money you've had access to? Like guilty that you have it? I personally don't think you should, but I'm curious if you ever do.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's
Because
so interesting.
I don't know, when you're surrounded by other kids who are like the same,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
get this sort
Mm.
of like, you will have the same idea on it.
Yeah.
You know, together you sort of like form this like opinion on it.
Yeah.
I mean, and you think it's cool.
Yeah, and we met your dad. You know, he's clearly a hard worker who
Yeah.
built something great and it paid off for
Your
him.
dad was a fucking legend, dude.
He really was.
He was so chill.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
I forgot what I was going to say. Does anyone have any questions?
Mm.
I had something I was going to say.
How much money have you spent in one day?
Yeah.
The most money.
And on what?
Oh my god, bro! I went like a couple years ago. I wanted to buy a car in LA,
Yeah.
Mm.
you know, and I walked into like this vintage car dealership. I'm really into cars. Like, I know a lot about Ferraris in
I love
particular.
cars.
I love vintage Ferraris. I love the like seeing the original ones, and I love cars. So I wanted to get this F355 that I'd thought about since I was a kid. I loved the F355. Just the way it looked was amazing to me. It was like so perfect. So like I saw this one for sale, and I had this sleazy like car salesman. He comes up and like manages to sell the car to me for $100,000.
It's the roof of the car. This bad boy for $100K.
Yeah, literally. He was like,
Gotcha.
Robert, you don't want any other car in here. The 360.
Oh, hit you with
this
the Robert.
coming back into style. And then he was really pressured me, which I don't know. Now I would have like understood that, but back then I was like, oh well, sure, I better pay it quick, because he was like, are you gonna buy the Ferrari or not? And I was like, oh shit. So I paid $100,000 for this car. Turns out it was worth 50.
Oh, fuck.
and it just broke down like.
Oh,
Constantly.
shit.
Couldn't
Did the old
drive it.
sawdust?
You should have fucking turned that thing around and drove it right through the front of the store.
Oh my
Say, I'm
God,
here to
bro.
return your fucking car.
Jesus.
Fucking guy, bro.
Get scammed.
Hey, at least you got a cool Ferrari out of it.
I had some cool pictures with it.
What did you end up doing with it?
Just sold it to a contact of mine. Yeah.
Have you only had, is that the only car you've owned, or?
No, I've had an M2.
Nice.
I had a BMW M2. Really,
Mhm.
really sick car.
Yeah.
Like that one.
I was looking at those recently. Nice cars.
You own a Tesla?
Oh, I
Yeah,
like
our friend
Teslas.
owns a Tesla.
Yeah, he's got a Tesla. Cool.
Yeah.
That's why
It's
you got
kinda
along.
cool.
That's why you got along with Fitz so much.
Your dad has an SLS, right?
No. So you know what? We always talk about this. How he's so stupid. He had the SLS, and
Yeah.
he had an SLS Black Edition as well.
Oh, one of my favorite cars of all time.
And he fucking, bro, it looked like Batman,
Yeah.
bro. And then he sold that shit to get the GT. And I was like, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. Boom, sure enough, like, as soon as the GT comes up,
The
all the
AMG
SLS.
GT?
Yeah. All the SLSs go, like, skyrocket in price.
Yeah.
And I was like, you fucked it. you
Yeah.
know?
Shit.
But-
And
Yeah.
Mercedes has said publicly that they're only making electric cars now. For
Yeah.
their future models, which means that things like the SLS and the AMG GT and stuff are going to go even further up in price, because they're going to be the last great petrol engine Mercedes.
Nah.
Mm. Anyway, we're going towards the end of the podcast now. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up that we didn't like?
Oh, the fashion brand.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to ask about that. Yeah. So that's one of your t-shirts, right?
This is one of the t-shirts I'm wearing right now.
That's
This
a
is-
photo you took, right?
It's,
Yeah,
it's a sleeping.
no, actually, my boy Matthias took this,
Okay.
but it was a shoot I thought of. That's my dad's car. It's a friend of mine, Gabriella, and I don't know. I just
She okay?
seen a photo like that, and I was like, it just resembled perfectly like the whole culture of like rich kids, because
I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
fun.
like a lot of people don't know, but there is actually like a cult thing going on with like rich kids culture on like Instagram and like,
Well, where they fall
and stuff,
asleep on
so-
the ground getting outside of a car.
No, I just feel like that represented it so well. Like, you know, like she's absolutely got
Yeah.
just retarded.
I'm
Like,
just,
you know,
just fucking
Yeah.
around.
partied
It's
and
a
couldn't
really it's a
control the
really
car.
good photo.
It really
Yeah.
is.
And then there's two other designs: the daddy issues and the
Yeah.
bohemian heat.
What,
I really
explain
like the daddy issues one.
Explain that one.
So that one actually, I got the inspiration from this girl that I was hooking up with at the time, and
Not
I was
Lindsay.
like trying to think of like what really like what if I could have like just a simple design to represent like, you know, what it's like growing up like as a rich girl. Boom, daddy issues and cocaine habits.
For anyone who hasn't seen the
Hmm.
design, it's like it's a drawing you did, right?
Yeah, it's a drawing. It's a little like a Photoshop drawing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
of a woman. She's got like smudged lipstick and stuff.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's
Yeah.
nice piece. It's a really cool cut too. It's like a very different.
Yeah, so
type
it's a
of cut.
custom cut. I didn't
Mhm.
want to get like something that anyone else would have.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it to be designer. You know, it's
Yeah.
a collaboration with a brand that's already making these really nice high quality silk t-shirts,
Mhm.
silk shirts.
Mm.
And,
Silk.
Yeah, it was a friend of mine, and we decided to partner up and make these ones because it's a really high quality cotton.
Yep.
Made in
Can I feel
Portugal.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's high quality. Not as
And
high
it's got
quality
this
as stuff
custom-
that store.
All custom
They're
pattern,
pretty high
custom
quality.
cut. So it fits like a designer piece, but then at a more affordable price because I know what designer feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
What's
wanted something
affordable
Yeah.
to a billionaire's son?
like that. $97 for one.
I
That's
think
about right.
I think that's respectable.
That's
Yeah.
about
Right,
right.
yeah.
What for a shirt?
Because
Yeah.
I wanted my whole like a lot more of my audience to be able to buy it as well.
Yeah.
I know that
Mm.
I want to target the whole rich kid culture, but I want most people to be not most people because I know $97 is expensive, but it still has to, it's a premium product. You know, you are getting that value.
That's
and you'll
like
see when the packaging and everything.
And it's
nice.
limited as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Each one is limited design. I'm not going to redo them.
yeah.
Oh,
gonna be
unfortunately, Bobby, I don't think anyone from Australia is going to buy a shirt for $130.
I have
Yeah,
probably
that's
spent
like-
$800.
That's-
on it.
that's two shirts equals a PS4.
Yeah.
Ooh, big math. from Tiger.
equal
PS4. It's simple arithmetic.
A
Gamer
Gucci
man.
shirt, a Saint Laurent shirt, a
No, I've seen
Louis
that.
shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spending shit. tons.
$400, $800.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you
Yeah.
can just get that. You know, you can take that quality and you can get those patterns. Most people don't do that because then it's annoying. You have to buy it first. You have to get it made. You have to hold the stock.
Yeah.
You have to be
Mm.
sure of your designs. Like, you know, you can't switch it up and stuff like that.
Make
so,
sure it doesn't shrink in the wash.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
So I actually, that's something I did want to ask about. Are you like a big fashion guy?
Yeah. So I've
Yeah.
always been
Well,
really
you can't
into fashion
tell.
since
The
a kid.
cunt's wearing like fucking 3 rings.
Okay.
But I've just been really into fashion since I was
Yeah.
a kid. Especially like, you know, when any money I would get, I would just spend it
Mm.
on fashion. That
I
was what
do
I
the exact same
yeah.
thing.
What's your favorite go-to brand besides
was
your
gonna
own
ask.
and ours?
Saint Laurent.
Saint Laurent.
Saint Laurent is great,
Yeah.
and I could see that totally fitting your like structure because you're quite
Mm.
tall and slender, which is like
Yeah.
perfect for Saint Laurent.
Mm.
Perfect.
Do you
Yeah.
fuck with any sports?
Yeah, I work. I like tennis, ping pong, skiing.
Footy?
Your dad's really into ping pong, right?
My dad's really into ping pong. We play a lot of ping pong together.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn,
Nah.
that's sick.
Well, we played a game of fucking tennis together. Me, Manuel, and then you and Ford, right?
Oh yeah, we
yeah,
did.
dude, that was fucking fun as. First time
I was
got
like
in sh-
drunk as well. We were playing
Yeah.
tennis drunk.
Yeah, I was
Not a
too.
good
I
idea.
Wasn't it
Fucking
like
high.
2 in the morning too?
No,
it
was it?
was,
It
but it
was-
was like 1 a.m.
Yeah, it was 1
There was
a.m..
like a roast going. I
Yeah.
was drunk. I was like, let's play 2 sets of
Ryan,
tennis.
Ryan had a fucking a big pork belly on a rotisserie spit, an automatic spit, just going outside.
Yeah.
We played a couple of games of tennis, and the cunt caught fire.
Yeah, it took like
Oh
3
yeah, I
hours
didn't
to
even
cook.
see it. It
Yeah.
was like in my vision. I just,
was
it just
playing
burned.
Was it just on fire?
Yeah, it was fucking burning. They stuck it all the way down. They had to grab it, blow it out, and then put it back up. Crackling was crispy though.
That was a fun night.
That was
It
a
fun
fucking
night.
really good night,
Yeah, that
dude.
was.
And
The-
speaking
the
of
whole
that
trip.
fun night, that was all recorded
Mm-hmm.
and will be up on the Misfits channel at some point.
Fitz had a frog on his head.
He had a fucking frog in his head, the wacky bastard.
I know. And he probably got fucking... That's what he got
That's
sick
probably
from.
what he got sick from. Yeah.
Yikes.
We
Well,
also
his fault for licking it.
we also have. Oh,
I
what were
was
you gonna
just
say?
going to say, mention Fitz's toad licking habit.
Sorry, I'm a bad host. I interrupt people a lot. That's why Fitz is usually the host. But I do want to say we actually have a very exciting vlog coming out soon. The vlog that people have been waiting for ages, which is the TwitchCon vlog. So keep your eyes out on the Misfits channel for that shit.
Keep them peeled.
Keep them peeled. Please don't
can we
do that.
not do that
Swagger.
again, please?
No.
All right.
It's fucking yucky.
Does anyone have any
Fucking
last
yank.
any last words for Bobby? What does anyone want? Any questions or anything?
Don't forget to follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. You shout out anything you want.
Shameless plug.
At Billionaire's son.
What is the you're like pretty big into Instagram, right?
I love Instagram because I love photography. Really big fan of photography.
Yeah.
And just like what you can do with that. I feel like a lot of people take these stupid iPhone pictures, and if I'm on a shoot and some girl's like, yo, can you take a picture of me with my iPhone? Literally tell them
You
to
smack
fuck
her
off.
in the face.
You literally beat the shit out of it.
Well, you don't think I have another? What the fuck? You don't think I have another model on fucking speed dial? You're replaceable.
What camera do you use? Do you have like a
Sony A7S Mark II.
okay? It's a good camera. Yeah. I really want a Leica. I love Leica. Anyway, thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed
What's your
being on
Insta
our
Thank you for having
again?
me.
Yeah, at what you
you're
need to.
at
Plug
Bobby.
what you need to.
At Bobby Misner on Instagram, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And don't forget to turn on the post notifications because when the Japanese video drops,
Very true.
you want to be notified.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm keen. I want to hear the full juicy story.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Likewise.
All right. Well,
Well-
thank you for listening to the Misfits podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to check out Gamersubs at gamersubs.gg. Use code Misfits for 10% off. Also go to misfits.tours and scuffed.store.
Misfits tours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, Bobby.
Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Bobby.
Thank you.
Fucking pleasure having you,
Bye.
mate. See you guys. Fucking have a good night. Fucking rate 5 stars and have a good night.
Fucking yeah, come on.